Hey, everybody. What's up? It's me, Kamau Bell. Welcome to episode 6 of my podcast, Who's With Me? As you can see, I'm not in the usual studio, in Rabbit Grin Productions in LA. I'm here in Oakland in my office, and I had to do a lot of work to get the shot to look this good. So enjoy, and maybe we'll improve it. I don't know. This was a lot of work. Anyway, thank you for joining in this week. Last week was David Diggs. Great conversation with David, talking about being a new dad, talking about the power of Oakland and the East Bay, talking about why he works so hard. And people say I work hard. So I understand that sometimes you just feel pulled to work hard and pulled to your creative voice, but also you want to be home. This week, our guest is Nava Mao. Nava Mao is an actress who is most notably known for the series Baby Reindeer on Netflix. That was one of those series everybody talked about for several months. It won a ton of awards. And today we're going to talk about her career, her new short film, and also we're going to talk about what happened in the wake of all those accolades for Baby Reindeer. It's an interesting conversation. And we're going to talk a little bit about middle-aged comedians who do jokes about trans people when they clearly don't know much about trans people. We're going to get into all of it. And this is the last week of Pride. I think so, if I'm doing my June calendar right. Also, a couple days ago, it was Father's Day. I'm a dad. Me and my 3 daughters hung out on Father's Day. We went to do the thing that you do on Father's Day. You go see the new Pixar movie. So we saw Toy Story 5. Thumbs up from me. Hope I can borrow that from the late, great Roger Ebert. The focus was on Jesse. We're a big Toy Story family in our family. We like all those movies. They're a little, but they're all great. A Toy Story movie is better than most movies. So yeah, we enjoyed it. And then me and my youngest went to a Juneteenth celebration in Berkeley, California. So I did all the things a dad is supposed to do on Father's Day. I went to a big Hollywood movie, went to a Juneteenth celebration. That's all the things you're supposed to do when you're a dad on Father's Day. But yeah, this is the last week of Pride. Last week I talked about the letter T in the LGBTQIA, but this week I sort of want to talk about how I came to be what I would like to think is not only an ally of the LGBTQ plus community, but also a co-conspirator. Like, I'm down to get into the shit with them when the shit hits. When I moved to the Bay Area in 1997, I've talked about this before. I think I knew one openly gay person in Chicago, which doesn't mean there weren't a lot of openly gay people in Chicago, maybe just one who wanted to be open to me. I was really, it's weird to think of myself as a homophobe, but I really was like level 1 homophobe in that I was nervous around gay people, and I was in my early 20s, which is probably too old, but also it was the 90s. So maybe it was right on brand for the 90s, being a heterosexual cisgender dude in the 90s. I remember one time my friends after a comedy show were like, we're going to go to this club and hang out. And it was a gay nightclub. And I remember going to this gay nightclub and I just walked around the whole time and never stopped moving because I was afraid a guy was going to hit on me and I wouldn't know how to tell him I wasn't gay. So I was like, I'll be like a shark and I just won't stop moving. And I'm sure I just look like a fool. Also lived adjacent to the neighborhood in Chicago that we colloquially called Boys Town, which was the gay man neighborhood, sort of the Castro of Chicago. I remember one night I was riding home on my bike and I cut through Boys Town. I remember being nervous about all the because it was light. It was like a Friday or Saturday night, and all the gay guys were out in the streets having a good time. And what if they snatched me off my bike? It was ridiculous. I was in my early 20s. I was literally a homophobe by the definition of I was afraid of gay men, And then I moved out to the gay area. We can keep that in. And then I moved out to the Bay Area. And I remember being shocked at seeing openly gay people, openly gay people, not upset or offended, but just, again, this is like level 1 of homophobia. Like, you're noticing things that you don't need to be noticing. Like, I remember seeing gay men holding hands a lot and being like, oh my God, they really are gay out here. This is like professionally gay. You know what I mean? I remember being amazed at that. And then I remember going to the Castro and being afraid again that I was ridiculous. But luckily, many openly gay people in my life saw my ridiculousness and saw that I was not wanting to be harmful and sort of took my hand, metaphorically and sometimes literally, and helped educate me and I guess acclimate me, and also were super patient with me as I came to understand that, dude, chill. You need to relax. We're all just out here living our lives. Shout out to my friend Martha Reinberg, who I mentioned last week. Shout out to all of the people I met through the Soul Performance Workshop, which was this workshop I used to teach at, and I ended up having a good number of gay people at that workshop. Shout out to just the Bay Area. Shout out to Oakland for being the hub of lesbians. So I got to sort of understand the difference between lesbians and gay men. Of course, I knew there was a difference, but really culturally, it's a wide difference. I hope I can say that without getting in trouble. Yeah. So and then I met trans people, and I met asexual people, and I met intersex people, and then I met people who didn't tell me none of that because none of my goddamn business. I just met people. Let me understand that like there's a lot of people who are on this planet, and it takes all of us. And if we can all live together, amazing things can happen. So this Thursday, I'll be participating in SF Pride in conversation with my friend Erica Huggins, who's one of the early leaders of the Black Panther Party. She was a leader in the Black Panther Party when she was like 19 years old. So she still lives here in the Bay Area, lives in Oakland, and I'm lucky to become friendly with her. One time, she actually threatened to show up at my kid's school because my kid was having a problem with the teacher. She's like, "Do you need me to come by?" I was like, "No, but thank you, Erica Huggins." So yeah, I just want to say, yeah, it has been the blessing of my life that when I moved to the Bay Area just to do stand-up comedy, I actually ended up opening my eyes culturally to the LGBTQ plus community and also so many other communities. One day to talk about how I didn't know what Filipinos were till I moved out here, but that's for another episode. My guest today is Nava Mao. Nava Mao is a transgender actress. She talks about being transgender. She also talks about being an actress. In today's episode, we have a wide-ranging conversation. She talks about her new short film that's out right now. You can see it on her website. It's called All the Words But the One. We talk about how Baby Reindeer was this huge global hit and what happened for her after she was in a show that was a huge global hit and she got a lot of nominations for lots of awards for. And we also talk about, as I said, middle-aged comedians who can't seem to stop doing jokes about transgender people. Anyway, enjoy the episode.